Hello humans, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Yelly or Yellbell Beauty here on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Today we are going to do a declutter of my singles. This was prompted because I got some new ones and I don't know where to put them. So we're gonna go through, we'll probably swatch some things out. We'll talk about what, I'm decluttering. Anything that I declutter will be going to either a close friend or to Project Beauty Share. If you don't know what Project Beauty Share is, you can send them makeup and toiletries and they will distribute them to different shelters after sanitizing them. We are going to get started. I did already put these off to the side. So this is Mystic Moon Pie from Davina. I already have it, but I didn't have everything else in the bundle that it came in. So I ordered the bundle and then this unopened one is going to be given to a friend. And then these are shades that I decided the other day were overlaps. So this one actually I found out in a video. This is Divine Sky from Quicksand Cosmetics. I realized I had two of them, so that's in here. These are depotted from Juvia's Place palettes, and then this is depotted from a Copacetic palette. So those are all gonna go on the side. My singles are not very organized right now, but we'll see what we can do. So I feel that this is a really interesting one to start with, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually pull out some palettes that are magnetic and see where I might have dupes. I'm not sure that anything in this palette is going to go, to be completely honest, but we will see. All right, so when looking at a lot of these mattes, the first thing I thought of was this Ensley Rain Crystal Skies palette, which is in collaboration with Katie Shifty Shadow. So this has a lot of mattes that could have potential overlap here, but I don't know about that actually. I mean, like this shade maybe, and this shade. Yeah, they're pretty close. Yeah, I just don't know if there's anything in here that quite honestly I'm willing to part with. This is all Dandelions Co. and Sydney Grace. And these are like my favorite mattes, and I'm not gonna like get rid of something that's in a palette, so we're just gonna leave this one be for now. Okay, in here we've got Lethal, Shroud, Menagerie, NBA Cosmetics, and then these are two shades I depotted from Violet Voss. I have a feeling I might have some sort of a dupe for this Violet Voss shade. This is Lilac, it's from the Sunset palette. So I'm gonna swatch that so I could try and find some dupes, and I actually wonder if I have a dupe as well for this one. I believe this is called Blush and it's from the same palette. You can't tell me I don't have a dupe for that, come on. Nope. Nope. Okay, it looks like there isn't a direct dupe in this palette, but there might be a direct dupe somewhere. So what we'll do is we'll leave the swatches in my hand and I can compare. I am missing, right now I do have two BYOPs. So I have this one, which is a 9-pan, so this is NBA Cosmetics. It finishes this as a quad, Copacetic. These are from Dandelions Co. These two are from Shroud, and then Cleona. I don't think anything from this palette is gonna go. This palette, if it will open, this palette has some contenders. A lot of these like muted brown shades I really don't reach for a lot. I put this together for Rapbor's taupe, hue fixation taupe, what are they calling it? Tantalizing taupes. This is the palette I put together for it, but like you could see these look incredibly similar, and I'm sure I have them many times over in Natasha Denona palettes, which are magnetic, so I'm gonna keep this one out so we could do some comparisons. This is my Sydney Grace and Mel's Memory Bundle. I have, since my video, labeled it. So let's see if we have any direct dupes here. These three shades in particular, I can guarantee I have somewhere else in my collection. So let's swatch those out. I mean, yeah. This very like glittery exploding palette. These are all of my Quicksand Cosmetics, and then down here is Mon Professional and Shine by SD. I am not willing to part with any of these, but I'm willing to part with other shadows that look like these. So this palette is gonna like stay out because if I find other things that are similar to these, like I'm willing to part with those. Okay, I feel like this is the big one where we're gonna, you know, make some choices. So first and foremost, let's see if we have a dupe for any of these shades on my arm. This right here is pretty darn close to that one shade from the Sydney Grace palette. They are like literally my skin tone. I don't really think you can see it. They both kind of look like this. I don't even know if that's in focus, but this is a shade I depotted from a Pacifica palette that my sister-in-law got me. And while the palette is really nice and I have a lot of the mattes in here and these shimmers, like I kept a lot of the palette, I can definitely part with this. So we're gonna put this up on the windowsill. One thing that I do wonder about is like how much overlap I have in here. This is from Copacetic. This one is from ABH. That looks pretty similar. So I'm gonna get rid of the one from ABH. These are my last two SAS shades. This one I have kept only because it is like the brightest green in my collection. If you have a dupe for this color, let me know. I will buy it and gladly get rid of this, but you know. This shade I kept because it's really pretty, but I'm fairly confident I have a dupe for this in my collection. It's just like it's like a white, pink, green trichrome. I'm sure I have something like that somewhere, so we will come back to it, but I think I could probably part with it today. So one thing that stood out immediately is I have this shade from the Juvia's Place Nomad palette, and then I recently depotted this shade from the Ace Beauté Classical Paradise palette. The Juvia's Place one is darker. Is there a dupe for these in that Sydney Grace palette though? Oh, you gotta be kidding, none of them are the same. Okay. They may look similar in the pan, but they are not the same, so you get to live another day. This... Why do I think I do have a dupe for this somewhere? It's like the deeper version of Bravo from Sydney Grace. Hold on, I think I have a dupe for this shadow somewhere in my collection. Let me look for it.
2 hours later.
You know, if I do have one, maybe it's in a palette. Hold on, let's check palettes. I mean, could likely be in the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. Yeah, that's pretty close. I feel okay parting with this. I feel alright parting with it. I kept this because it is the darkest brown in my collection, but I have a darker brown from Sydney Grace. I'm positive of it. This is gonna go. This is also from a Juvia's Place palette. When I depotted the Classical Paradise palette from Ace Beauté, I depotted both of these. I don't know if I need both of these and this shade from Jeffree Star. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna part with the shade from Jeffree Star. I think it's closest to this one, and I'm gonna keep these from Ace Beauté because I actually still support Ace Beauté, so I feel better about keeping those. This green and this green. While these are not similar, I wanna compare them to the green from Creepy Cute 2. I don't know where it is though. It's supposed to be in here. This is where Shroud lives. Hold please, while I find a runaway eyeshadow. Well, I mean, to add another to the party, that's Chlorophyll from Terra Moons. Is it in a palette right now? That just seems like... Ah, it's in a palette. Okay, so this is, I think it's like, what is it? Something about sour. No, it's not. This is Get Lost from the Creepy Cute 2, and then this is from one of the Dandelions Cloak. This is from the Dandelions Coast Spring Symphony palette. It's called Chlorophyll. There is another shadow that I want to pull out to compare to this, so hold on. This is Fresh Cut from ColourPop. You can see that there's actually a pan in it. The closest I'm seeing right now, and actually it doesn't look at all like it in the camera, but these two look much more similar to my eye in person. Let's look at these greens from Lethal. Okay, I'm perfectly fine parting with this ColourPop shadow. I think I could also part with this green one from Jeffree Star. I think I feel okay with that. Okay, this shade is from, I think, the Morphe, yeah, the Morphe and James Charles palette. It's like, I can't describe it in any other way besides it's a Barbie purple. It's actually probably more like a true grape, and I just can't think of colors. But I literally can't tell you the last time I used this. I'm gonna declutter it. This is also from the James Charles palette. Okay, this is from Sydney Grace. This is from Dandelions Co. This is from Sydney Grace. Thought this would be closer, huh? That one's pretty darn close. That's more red than orange, but I'm willing to part with it. Goodbye, Juvia's Place. That last one that I swatched was from Dandelions Co. It's called Temper. This light yellow, this is from an Anastasia palette. This is Dandelions Co. This is the shade Pollen Puff. This is Banana Milk from Shroud. Oh, that's much darker than I thought it would be. This is Your Vision from ColourPop. It is exactly like that Dandelions Co. shadow. It also has a pan in it, but it's going. I'd rather keep Dandelions Co. than ColourPop. Here's another from ColourPop. This is Solar Hour. Banana Milk is much darker than I thought. I think there are some yellows in here, right? Oh wait, maybe this is Banana Milk. I don't know what I thought that other one was. This is Banana Milk. Oh yeah, I could part with this Norvina one. Okay, goodbye. I'm also gonna part with that ColourPop one. There has to be a dupe in here for one of this Pink Violet Voss shade. I like refuse to accept that I don't have something. This one. What is this? If it'll come out of the pan, I could tell you. It's Lolly from Sydney Grace. So that Violet Voss shadow is going away. So goodbye, this one. This one though, I don't know. I did swatch these like immediately and they're both dustier. Neither of them have that like neon pop. Which is like, do I have one in Katie's palette that's like that? This one, right? Oh yeah, near perfect dupe. Goodbye Violet Voss shadows. Going to the pile. And I'm dropping things. Okay, anything else? This is Bubblegum from Jeffree Star. I don't know if I actually have a pink quite like this. This one's actually a hotter pink. This is Safe Word from Shroud. This is Bubblegum from Jeffree Star. This is Nephophile from Katie's palette. I think I feel okay getting rid of the Jeffree Star one. They're all close enough. If anyone could tell me a good navy blue, this is a Jeffree Star shadow, and a good like, you know when you just think of the color blue, like a true blue? This swatches horribly, but it's like the perfect true blue. They're both from Jeffree Star. I would like to get rid of them. I would like to get rid of both of them, but I don't have dupes for them and they are very useful in BYOPs. So like if you know of a dupe, like please let me know. Of my copacetic shadows, I feel okay parting with quite a few of these actually because they're like that iridescent-y shade. So some of these are from palettes, some of these are from singles. So this is Olivia from M. Jones's palette. Unfortunately, I think some of these are just like past their prime. Like, I know Flaky's never swatched particularly well, but this does not feel right to me. I think this needs to be thrown out. It's like a couple years old, so it might be possible that I got something in it. This is Kaylee from M. Jones's palette. This one has like a red shift. I don't even know if the camera's picking that up. I feel all right keeping this, but yeah, I mean, it's just like, I'm positive that this is Florage and it's much more like poppy to me than this shade. So it's just the reality is I'm going to reach for something more sheer if it's, you know, a white shadow over like a really flaky thing. This is Depotted from a Sugar Drizzle palette. It's just like a white iridescent with a slight green shift. If I'm actually going to pick a white iridescent with a slight green shift, I'm actually going to pick Jessica from M. Jones's palette, so this Sugar Drizzle one can go. The thing with these Sugar Drizzle shades, down here in particular, is that I definitely have them in private labeled palettes, right? With the exception of maybe this one I don't have in a palette right now. But the thing is, like, if I want to use them as a single, that's like, you know, the catch-22. However, I do kind of think this one has a dupe in Cleona. Like, a better one, obviously. So let's swatch that out. So that's the Sugar Drizzle one. It's called Sugar Cakes. This is Emboss from Cleona. Not perfect, but I think I have one more that I could pull in here. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not really picking it up in the camera because it has some additional shifts, but this is a newer one from Divina. This is the Frothy Surf. It's from that like Sea collection, Sea Treasures or something. I could part with it. I am also fairly certain I have this in a palette, like if I was really dying for like the more sheer version of these shades, which I kind of doubt, so. Yep, it's right here. This is the original Ensley Rain Strawberry Moon palette. She just came out with a revamped one, but this is the original. All right, feel good about that. This one is like another one of those that it's good for duping because it's a very common private labeled shade. I've got to have something like that. Not quite. So this is the one from Sugar Drizzle. I believe they call it Space Dog. This is from Divina. This is, I think, Rockstar. This is Mystic Moon Pie from Divina. This is Bloodline from Cleona. They're like all close-ish, but that blue, can you see it? Can I get it to, there we go. That blue shift in the top one, I've got to have something like that. That just seems like such a basic duochrome, you know? That's Cosmic Collision from Mon Professional, but it's green and not blue. This is so weird, but I actually don't think I have a dupe for that really common private labeled shadow. So I'm gonna keep it because even thinking now, I don't know if I have it in any palettes anymore. So like looking in my private labeled palettes, it's not in here, it's not in here, and it's not in here. So as weird as that sounds, that is my only version of that eyeshadow right now, so it's gonna stay. Now this teal, this is like, you know, this is a very common private labeled shade. I don't know what it is about the shade, it just like always hits for me. I just don't know why. I don't know if I have something like exactly like this that hits like this for me. Again, like very strange, right? Like you'd think that I'd have something like that with all the stuff that I have. This is Magnetism from Shroud. It's close. This is Zodiac from Pretties for Your Face. I mean, that actually does just kind of feel like a better version of this. If you were like, pick one for the rest of your life, I would pick Zodiac, so let's get rid of this. This is the Sugar Drizzle one. These two I also don't think I actually have dupes for right now. I think this one might be from a Gourmand Girls palette. It's like a purple, teal. My hand's kind of stained right now, but I might have something from Divina like this. Please hold. The only other one that comes to mind is actually, this is Ripple from Cleona. Yeah, it's not close. I think we're just gonna have to leave it be. It's gonna stay where it's gonna stay. And then this one, I don't know if I have a dupe for right now either. It's like a sheer pink to purple. I don't know if it's a, I feel like it's not zooming in any of the swatches for me right now, but this I think is actually like the prettiest of the private labeled shades, but I don't know. We'll keep it where it's at right now. I think this feels better than where it was at in this palette. Pretties for your face. I have a lot of these. There's also some black moxie in here, but I have a lot of these because I am an affiliate, and like I thought for a long time I would keep a lot of these because I am an affiliate and like I'd want to swatch them for all of you, but they're just not getting used. Honestly, it's stupid of me to keep this much eyeshadow that I'm not going to use. Like, I don't care if I'm an affiliate. Like, I'm not going to be like, what, I'm going to be hoarding these until I'm 80? Like, it's just not in the plan. So we're going to go through these. Ones for sure we want to look at here. These two white iridescents. This one is Spirit of Freedom. This one is Red Light, Green Light. I think the Spirit of Freedom is a little bit chunkier, but they look the same to me. I think Red Light, Green Light is supposed to have some sort of shift. I'm gonna be honest, I don't quite see it. I just don't know. I'm gonna keep this one. What is this one? Spirit of Freedom. Red Light, Green Light can go. It's also, you know, kind of exploding everywhere. These two look quite similar to me. Oh yeah, I don't need both of these. I think I would reach for this one first because it's darker. So this one is I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it. I'm a terrible affiliate. And the one that I'm keeping is Noel. These two look quite similar to me. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? Look at these. Look at these eyeshadows. Yelly, what is wrong with you? So we're gonna keep Yule. We'll donate Android. Sorry, Artemis, I know that one's yours. Also, like, why am I keeping all the Christmas ones? What am I doing here? This is Eclipse. It'll stay. What about you? I mean, Eclipse is just, like, really flaky. Like, yeah, I had to kind of... This seems more of, like, a regular blue. But you know what? Okay, here's that Pretties for Your Face one. This is Giant Pacific from Menagerie. Whatever this is, it looks pretty close to Giant Pacific. And to the Deep. Funny, they're both, you know, whatever, oceans, but it's going. Where else do we see some, like, mega overlap here? The purples. Those are all the purples. These two look pretty similar to me. I believe this one, Death Do Us Part. I think this is like from a Halloween collab or something. I am gonna declutter that one. And it's like nothing against any of these shadows. I think Pretties for Your Face has a great formula. I think a lot of those shadows that I decluttered today, I mean, even Juvie's Place, I think has a great formula. It's just the matter of the fact that, like, I am one human and I have two eyes. Like, where is this all gonna go, you know? These two look, you know, one is more a little bit more pink, but they do look quite similar to me. Okay, so 1, 2. This is a Cleona shade. That kind of knocks out whatever this is. It's this one right here. Gravity, goodbye. Now these will have a time of reckoning because I know for a fact I have like 4 shadows that look like this. So I have 1. This is Pretties for Your Face Royal Rose. I have 2. This is a Christmas one, I think, right? Yeah, this is Pretties for Your Face Elves. So we have Royal Rose, Elves, Pack Leader from Menagerie, and then we have Royal Peach from Sydney Grace. Well, actually, Royal Peach is very different than I thought. Here's also one from Davina. Not really close to the others. I am willing to keep one of these. I think I'm going to keep this one. This one's Royal Rose. I'm going to get rid of Elves. Okay. Greens, 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 greens. We got a lot of greens here. For sure, I could say this is Ether. This is Shock. Shock will go. Ether is a like sparklier version of Shock, in my opinion. I like the glitter better. So, goodbye Shock. You served me well. In addition to that, oh my god, you guys are probably sick of me. This is Fresh Cut Grass from ColourPop. What about these two? This is a Christmas one. Oh my god, that one just like exploded. What the hell? Do you see that? Do you see what that just did? Should give this to a person that I hate. It'll destroy their life. Okay, here's that Christmas one. It is called Fur. Oh my god, I just like... You can't see it because it's like right over here, but I tipped the shadow over to read the back of it and just like all of it went flying. Wow, I just washed this tablecloth. Why, Yelly? And then this is Zodiac. They have a different glitter in them. I don't know if you could tell, but Zodiac has green glitter and Fur has gold glitter. I would like to declutter one, but something inside of me is like, keep it a little bit longer, and I'm not here to be like ruthless. I'm just here to like, you know, be realistic, so. One of these two in particular looks very close. These are all from Carolina Pixie Glow's collab with Black Moxie. One of these in particular looks very close to Moonwalk from Terra Moon. So let me pull that and we can compare. Here's Moonwalk from Terra Moons. This one I believe is Iris from Carolina's collab. And then this one doesn't have any notes from the palette. This one is actually quite different, but Iris is pretty close, so I'm gonna let Iris go. This one, however, Sophia, I'm just swatching this for funsies at this point. Something about that just like hits me in the feels when I swatch it. Sorry, Carolina, I think I'm like splitting up your daughters, right? Those are their names. I apologize. So I feel pretty good about where we got Pretties for Your Face too. The more I look at it though, this one, I don't think I'm going to use this one. This is Lovely's. I think this was also a collab with someone, but I'm going to get rid of that one. Okay. So this looks like much less eyeshadow, and that there is like much less overlap in color. Like I feel a lot better about this. Let's do some reckoning with ColourPop here. Here's a palette from a ColourPop 9 pan. Where are all the ColourPop shadows I'm donating? Alright, here are the ColourPop shadows I'm currently donating. Realistically, I think it's possible to fill a palette to give to somebody. Like, I don't use a lot of these. These are here for like fill-ins for BYOPs. Some of these, the formula is abysmal. Some of these I have like a weird emotional attachment to. But some of these I could get rid of. Like, right off the bat, you, goodbye. This gold is like always exploding. It can go. I never use it. Every time I opened the child palette, glitter everywhere. I just can't explain it. Never dropped it once in my life. There is certainly a dupe for this in the Mel bundle. It's from the child, but... Same with this one. Look at some of the mattes compared to the Mel bundle. Okay, this is Honeydew from Sydney Grace, and this is Turtle Bay from Sydney Grace. Close enough, goodbye. So there we go, that's a ColourPop palette. Are there any in here that are like so disgusting I would like to get rid of them further? Off the top of my head, there aren't any in here where I'm like, oh my god, get it away from me, but I think this is good for now, so. There are quite a few Juvia's Place shades in here that I think could potentially have overlap within this. So let's see. This is actually from this palette right here. That's like across. This is from Juvia's Place. It's like a taupe. Wow. I have to have something like these. If not even like in a Natasha Denona palette, you know, but I'm like so surprised I don't have a Sydney Grace shadow like these. Let's see. Actually, no. You know why? Because I don't buy shadows like this. And then when it comes to that kind of challenge, I like only have those. Here's the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. They all look the same because they're all taupe. Somebody with better color theory help. Okay. These are from the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Whatever this is, it can go. Where is that palette? Aha. Believe it's this. It's from Juvia's Place. This is from the Taupes palette from Juvia's Place. What is this? It's not quite the same. Okay. Well, I think that's that there. So let's do like one more once over here and just make sure I feel comfortable with where we're at, but then we could talk about like everything that I'm decluttering. ColourPop I feel good about. In the future there might be more decluttered from here, but it is where it is at right now. I feel this palette specifically was like my biggest accomplishment today. Like I think I cleaned out a majority of the shadows that I got rid of came from here, and I feel really good about that decision. Like I don't even like looking at this, I'm not like, oh my god, it's missing blank. Like I can't even tell you off the top of my head what used to be in here, which for me is a sign that like I obviously should have, you know, gotten rid of things a long time ago. I actually didn't find a dupe for this SAS shade, so if you have a dupe that's like a gold, not a gold, if you have a dupe that's like an iridescent to green to pink, let me know. I will buy it. Same thing with this green. Again, I would like to reiterate, I will buy this green from a company with good ethics. So I didn't even show you this palette yet, I don't think, but this is Terra Moon's Looksy and Touch of Glam. The reason I didn't like really pull it out is because, quite frankly, I knew I wasn't going to declutter anything from this palette. Like, these are shadows I reach for constantly. I think, like, you could see by these are, even if I didn't reach for them constantly, I hate to be that person, but Touch of Glam shadows are so expensive, it would be, like, ridiculous for me to, like, buy one, never touch it, and get rid of it. A lot of these are new, but I do use these quite a bit. And then Terra Moon's, like, again, they're not cheap. I use them very often. They're like one of the most used brands that I have. Now, I think it goes without saying that right now, like I'm on kind of a Terra Moon's hiatus. I'm waiting for something to become of the whole situation that has been going on, but I did pay for these. I do still have them. Many of them are not that old. Some of them are from a release this year. Like I'm not gonna go out and like throw away all my Terra Moon stuff right now, you know? Even if it's not a brand I support anymore, I could still use what I have and not create excessive waste. Didn't take anything out from here, and I feel okay with that. These are my most reach for mattes, so I feel perfectly okay knowing that I used this to like get rid of other shadows, and like that is good with me. I'd rather have these than some other shadows. I'd rather have these than Violet Voss. I'd certainly rather have these than ColourPop. So that is the deal. So I feel good about this. Davina and Cleona, again, I don't think I've really even shown this. It has two gaps right here because they were in that one palette, but a lot of these are new. I actually started this declutter because I got these shades right here from Davina, and I was like, how am I even gonna fit them? Because if you remember from past videos, this used to be Davina and Terra Moon's. I did a little rearranging, but now I have room in my collection for more things. I feel good about having these, keeping these. I love Davina shadows. I love Cleona shadows. This is good in my opinion. Right here, so this is Shroud, NBA Cosmetics, Menagerie, Lethal. Again, we use this for other things. I feel like a lot of this purge was like based off of brands that I no longer support or things where I like knew I had like a direct dupe, so I feel perfectly fine with where this is at. And then lastly, these are like my shadow children. My Quicksand Cosmetics, my Shine by SD down here, Mon Professional, but we didn't even like, you know, go through these because you all know how much I love Quicksand Cosmetics in particular. feel good about where this is at. And we should have a swatch party coming soon. I believe my new quicksand shades should be coming tomorrow from the new collection, so then we could do a whole quicksand swatch party. So that is where we're at with everything. Let's look at everything that we are decluttering. I'm like dropping things. Okay, I feel very good about this. Like, I know that these are shadows that were not getting used, that would not get used if I kept them, and they are going to go to a home where somebody will use them. Please don't ask me for any of these in the comments. They will be donated to Project Beauty Share. This quad in particular is going to my friend Diana, but the rest of these are going to Project Beauty Share, so like, please don't ask for things that I'm giving to charity. I am going to clean them first. You can see some of them are like kind of disgusting. That is my singles declutter. Let me know down below, did you recently declutter your singles? Did I satisfy you enough? Do you feel that I wasn't brutal enough? Let me know if you have dupes for those shades that I was talking about earlier. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay weird. Bye!